Hello and welcome to Unews. I'm Andrea Linares. We are following the massive ICE raids in Mississippi. Outrage growing as harrowing images of children crying for their parents played out on national TV. Immigration authorities are defending their actions. The raids taking place on the heels of the deadly shooting in El Paso, Texas, targeting Latinos close to Mississippi. With the latest there, Lorraine.
Andrea, I'm at a church in Forest, Mississippi, where a lot of the community is coming here to bring donations. The immediate needs these families have: canned food, bottled water, diapers for the kids. And it's that in the coming days, this is what's going to be critical. People don't have an income, so food starts running out. In the coming weeks, the problem is going to transform into how do we pay rent? We know that in this church, they're also raising funds to help the families be able to pay bills in the coming weeks until they decide what's going to happen in these communities, but also for the economy in these communities. Let's listen to what he had to say. Businesses around here say that they've seen a slowdown not only in street traffic, but taquerias that are not receiving their clients, beauty salons that have had to close in the last few days. We're very close together, a very close-knit community, trying to help each other out and just weigh in what's going to happen in the coming days. That's all the information we have for now, so I'll toss it back to you in the studio.
Thank you, Lorraine. It's very hard to see the images of those children so young crying desperately for their parents. As questions continue regarding the families caught up in the Mississippi raids, many are also wondering what, if anything, will happen to the employers. As Claudia Uceda reports, the business owners apparently knew ahead of time that ICE was on the way. As Dayton, Ohio and El Paso, Texas continue to recover from two mass shootings that killed at least 31 people, in Missouri, a new scare just outside a Walmart in Springfield. A man in body armor and fatigues stopped by police, and that man carrying over 100 rounds of ammunition. Carolina Sarasa has the latest. In California, a Sacramento Costco was evacuated Thursday night following a report of someone seen armed with a weapon inside that store. Following Campos and Maribel Campos, a couple from McAllen, were both victims of Saturday's shooting in El Paso. On Thursday night, at a memorial for Leonardo, his brother, speaking out for the very first time, Nidia Cavazos brings us this emotional story. Praying for that family there, and so many others. One day after the president and first lady visited with victims of the mass shooting in El Paso, Texas, Twitter erupted. Washington Republican lawmakers are now considering whether to take up the fight over gun control measures, but not until Congress comes back from summer vacation. Meanwhile, cities across the country continue to put pressure on Washington to act. Also called on President Trump to use his constitutional powers to bring the Senate back into session. The Constitution allows the president to convene the House, Senate, or both chambers on extraordinary occasions. Meantime, before leaving for New Jersey, President Trump said he's spoken to Senator McConnell and other senators, and he promises they're all on board with intelligent background checks. The president also bragged that he had a great relationship with the NRA. And there's still much more news ahead. A disturbing scene caught on tape aboard a commercial flight from Chicago to South Bend, Indiana, after passengers suspected that the plane's sole flight attendant was intoxicated. Marity Marungi has the story. A New York judge ruled the groping case against Cuba Gooding Jr. can move forward. Court documents ago, Air Force Colonel Roy Knight's plane went down in Vietnam. Years passed, and Knight's family never knew exactly what happened to him. But his remains have now been identified and brought back to Texas. And Knight's son, also a pilot, was the one who got to fly his dad home. Rafael Rodriguez has the story. A cold-blooded attack on a Houston freeway Thursday has left investigators scratching their heads. 2 people killed in the middle of rush hour traffic, and those victims reportedly shot with an AR-15. As Paola Byron reports, the suspects are still on the run. Say another driver who carries a pistol in his vehicle for personal protection feared for his life and fired at the shooter. They do not know, though, if he was hit. As for the victims, they have not been identified. A California family is mourning the loss of a loved one killed in Wednesday's stabbing rampage in the city of Garden Grove. They're speaking now about the suspect and why they feel he should not have been out of prison at the time of this horrible attack. Grecia Lastra has more. Family has set up a GoFundMe page to help cover funeral expenses. And in Florida, Orlando police said a 3-year-old died after climbing into a washing machine and getting trapped inside. Police believe the crash caught on camera. Now, as Mariti Marungi reports, that close call has one business owner taking action. Were sparked in part by a story reported by our next guest, Jeff Ernst. He's an investigative reporter who, with support from the Pulitzer Center on 1 million students begin college each fall. And for many of them, it's the very first time they're on their own, taking responsibility for their academics, daily routine, and most importantly, their health. Being unprepared for this huge transition can take a drastic toll, but even a little preparation can help them feel better and more in control during this new chapter of their lives. Brenda Cancino explains. The Field of Dreams is becoming a reality. The MLB just announced a big game will go down on this iconic field from the Kevin Costner classic film. Miriam Arias has the story.
So the game will take place on August 13th of next year. Now, construction is set to begin in the coming days for this field. Now, this is all part of Major League Baseball trying to shake things up and hold games in places other than the traditional ballparks.
Where else have they actually held these games?
Yeah, so in a few places. So they've held Major League games in Williamsport, Pennsylvania, where the Little League World Series is held every single year, and another game in Omaha, Nebraska, before the College World Series. Now, you may remember the Yankees playing the Red Sox in London earlier this season, so this is just a few that we can name so far.
Now, Miriam, you also have some important news regarding an actor, not necessarily because of a movie or TV show he's in, but because of some good actions.
That's right. Of course, we're going to be talking about Richard Gere. Now, he is visiting rescued migrants on a humanitarian, just trying to get, to a better life.
It's always good to see celebrities trying to lend a helping hand. And I also want to share the following, because before we go, I want to give a very special thanks to our wonderful summer intern, Valeria Conde. We wish her the very best as she returns to college this fall. Best of luck. That's all the time that we have for you News today. Have a wonderful weekend. I'm